Filling up at the pump is continuing to cost Americans more, with crude oil now topping $110 a barrel.
Yeah, the recent jump came within hours of President Trump threatening military action against Iran on Easter Sunday if the Strait of Hormuz is not reopened by tomorrow morning. But as we just heard, an Iranian official says that won't happen until the country is, quote, fully compensated for war damages.
All right, so let's bring in our chief business correspondent, Taylor Young. So, Taylor, that increase or that price increase has happened very, very fast here. Why such an immediate reaction to oil prices?
Yeah, because what we saw over the weekend really raises the stakes here. So over the last 24 hours, we have been seeing the markets really reacting to how this situation could potentially escalate. So, traders are now pricing in the possibility that this situation could be dragged out longer, or that it could be turning into something much bigger. And we're actually already kind of seeing this trickle-down effect at the pumps already. So this time last week, the national average per gallon was $4. Yesterday on Easter, it was $4.11. This morning, we are waking up to, once again, higher gas prices. The national average around $4.15. And, this is over $1 increase from just 1 month ago. And we say when the stakes are risen here. I really think that this boils down to, number one, the president has put a hard deadline tomorrow morning on this Strait of Hormuz being opened, and also just that reaction, that response that we heard from an Iranian official.
Of course, now we also have that 45-day ceasefire proposal from Egyptian leaders. We'll see what happens with that. As this escalates, so Taylor, and we go further on to the war, where are drivers feeling this the most right now?
Yeah, so the West Coast is absolutely kind of getting hit the hardest right now. I mean, we are seeing $6 per gallon over there, which is insane. Washington State is also not far behind that. So these are kind of states that typically see the biggest swing whenever oil prices increase. On the East Coast, it is a less. We're in kind of that $4 range, and right here in North Carolina, we are under that $4 at around under that $4 at $3.90. Diesel, of course, is a whole other story. I mean, the national average right now is sitting around $5.60 a gallon. And the reason why these prices kind of vary state by state, even pump by pump, we see that state taxes are different, environmental regulations, and also just the transportation distance of getting the gas to these gas stations. But if you drive around Charlotte, I mean, you're going to see different prices at every single gas station. And I think a lot of people are confused by that, but it really does boil down mainly to operational costs, the type of brands of that fuel, and just the volume of fuel that they're using.
All right, so does this mean that we're going to keep seeing prices go up and up and up?
Yeah, I think that is a expectation right now from a lot of energy experts and economists. I mean, we should expect to see prices increasing until, this disruption is evolved, right? The Strait of Hormuz is one of the, as we've been reporting over the last month, one of the most key critical oil routes in the entire world. So even if the United States were to up production, I mean, that's really not going to make much of a difference on pricing, because this is a globally traded commodity. So even if, we were to up production here, it doesn't matter if oil prices across the world. This is the supply and demand there.
I think, Taylor, you're hitting on the biggest disconnect with people that say, okay, we have plenty of oil here in the United States, but as you mentioned, it's a globally traded commodity, so the Strait needs to be reopened for those prices to come back down. Taylor, thank you so much.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.